is, front of the stream for the channel, Cam Sandwich, talk about Fortnite Monopoly. Dude, we like Fortnite, we like Fortnite, we like Fortnite. Shit, take it away!
How's it going, dude?
Hi!
Monopoly Fortnite.
Yes.
That's right, Fortnite Monopoly.
Love it.
It's here, it's real, and oh boy, it's nothing like you're expecting.
Is it just...
So it's not a Fortnite-based Monopoly game.
No, believe it or not,
Is it? Oh.
Connect 4.
Nice, nice. Wait, Monopoly D-Day? Wait, is that real?
out of every Monopoly game I've covered, this is by far one of the strangest. And
Wait.
as we've covered, that is a high bar to clear.
Monopoly bass fishing. Dude, are all Monopolies not just the exact same game? I don't understand. They're all the same game. What are we doing?
Earning that distinction partially due to it being the only one that I've seen that allows you to just up and shoot your friend right in their big dumb face.
Good game. Know what? Never mind. It's reskinned. They're different.
When you hear the phrase Fortnite Monopoly, you would expect this to be one of the worst things ever put to print. If there was any game for Hasbro to phone in on and just collect their checks, it would most certainly be this one.
I thought they were all like that. I genuinely thought they were all, every Monopoly one of these games were just like phoned in. Some are different. Okay, I thought they were all phoned in. To this channel, got it.
Surprisingly, Hasbro instead poured an immense amount of effort into Monopoly Fortnite.
I hate Hasbro, dude. I hate Hasbro.
Shaking up the Monopoly formula to create a gaming experience that is nothing like...
It looks the same! It's the same!
Anything they've put out before. But as we've also seen, just because Hasbro tries on something doesn't mean they won't screw it up.
I hate Hasbro.
Wonky world and combing through everything that it has to offer to answer one very important question.
Go on.
Is Fortnite Monopoly good? So let's
No, probably not. Has been ruining D&D and MTG. Yep. What's one more thing, right?
Start off this epic adventure by first getting to know the game a little better.
Sure.
Fortnite Monopoly was originally released in 2018.
Yeah, that's about right.
A number of different versions, including a second edition with updated skins and a collector's edition with a whole host of changes.
Is it that good? I kind of want to play it now.
I'll be focusing on the collector's edition, since it has some more interesting parts. But I have played both, so when there is a massive difference between collectors...
More like has been, bro. Nice.
How Fortnite Monopoly works is players move around the board trying to collect properties and loot to strengthen their...
Tilted Towers. Tilted Towers.
Players will try to attack each other while building walls to defend themselves.
Wait,
at
what?
the same time, attempting to avoid the ever-growing storm.
What? It's
the
not
last
Monopoly.
Player with HP remaining will claim the epic victory royale.
I'm so confused.
Now, obviously, if you've never played the game before, what I just said will make absolutely no sense.
The reporting fan knows Dark Days.
Yes. Is extremely complicated. So in order for you to get the whole picture for how this game works,
it's Monopoly. You roll dice, go on the board, and buy a property if you have the money for it. Why are we reinventing the wheel, Hasbro? What are we doing?
I'm going to work through the mechanics from least to most complicated.
Okay, I'm ready.
While also addressing how well they transitioned that mechanic over from the video game.
Sure.
First up...
Ah! That was so loud!
The storm is an ever-growing purple
Animal Crossing Monopoly? I have not.
Damage players over time if they are inside it.
Jesus, that was loud.
As the game goes on, the storm will cover more and more of the map, pushing players closer together, which will eventually force them to fight each other or face losing in the storm.
So how do you translate that? Yeah, is the chance cards just the storm? How do you...
The storm in Fortnite Monopoly is represented by the purple storm card.
Oh. Hi, Coffee!
How these work is that every time someone passes go, a storm card will be drawn from the deck. And it will randomly choose one space.
Take the location card from the highest unclaimed property and place that location card storm side up on this space. Okay. Disney Monopoly has all the breaches and land. Oh my god.
The board to be taken by the storm. Whenever you land on a space that has been stormed, you will take a varying amount of damage. So as the game goes on, the amount of spaces that you can safely land on is going to get smaller and smaller.
That's kind of a quaint idea. Okay, I kind of... All right, that's not bad.
On top of that, the storm can not only take players' properties, but also other spaces that will screw with the game's mechanics.
Explain.
For instance, if the storm takes the go to jail space, players will no longer go to jail if they land there. And if the storm takes go, you will no longer collect 2 health when you pass, removing the main way that you can recover from damage.
You know, honestly, okay. No, oh my god. That's kind of interesting. I kind of messed with that a little bit. Okay, that's a good mechanic. Yeah.
The storm cards are an excellent implementation. I'm really impressed
No,
with
that's
how well they
good.
managed to transfer the feeling of a map getting smaller as the game goes on.
That's good.
And
I
since
like
the
that.
cards either have players pick spaces to be stormed or pick them at random, each game is going to have a completely different storm circle.
You guys want to play for Dilf Night? Do you guys want to play? You think we should play Monopoly? Do you think I made 7 hours? I don't think it'll take 7 hours.
Just like in the video game. Absolutely stellar work that makes me really mad that
Sure.
Hasbro can do this pretty much perfectly and yet still screw up way easier
Stop.
mechanics
Yeah.
in their other Monopoly
Stop. Don't
titles.
talk about it.
Great work, no notes.
Great. All right.
Next, it's time for... It's not a Monopoly game without some hot real estate action. So
I feel okay. Let me think here. The whole reason they're asking 7 hours is because people forget the auction phase of Monopoly. I have not played actual Monopoly in like 10 years. I don't even know. What I do know is how do they do this one? Properties? You just buy them, right? Like I don't really.
How
There's
many
FORTNITE Monopoly
V-Bucks
works up.
will it cost you to
Yo!
get in on the lucrative FORTNITE housing market?
Okay.
Well, remember how in Monopoly Cheaters Edition they changed up the pricing structure on some of the properties? The most extreme example being that Pennsylvania Avenue was just free?
Nice.
Well, they thought that that was just a splendid idea. In fact, the
I have-
market is
yes.
feeling very generous today,
I have,
as
Rev.
every single property in the game is completely free.
So, wait. Okay.
Duh! My shifty stocks! Yes, whenever you land on an unowned property, you claim it free of charge. And
So what's the point?
when other players land on it from then on, they will take damage.
Okay.
On top of that, if you manage to own a full color set, you can heal 2 HP if you land on it. I know.
Okay. So there's no money involved, right? It's all your money is your HP. Okay.
We haven't gotten to HP yet, but that's good. You want as
Okay, yeah, I figured.
much of that as you can get.
Yes.
As you can imagine, all of the properties are based off of FORTNITE locations.
Yes.
But since the map is constantly changing, the properties vary wildly between the standard and collector's edition.
I do like the idea of the slow like decline of the map. It makes games feel different, actually. That's not bad.
For instance, the Collector's Edition was released in 2021, so it
Okay.
being relatively new, I only really know Tilted Towers
Yeah,
and the
fair.
Durr Burger place.
The Durr
while
Burger.
The Standard Edition has more classic locales, like the Flush Factory, the Loot Lake, the
Loot
horrible Dusty
Lake!
Depot replacement, all of your favorites. And seeing as the
Loot
board is very
Lake!
Fortnite-centric, a
Yep.
lot of the classic Monopoly features had to be replaced in order to make room for the new stuff.
Sure.
Oh no. Fatalities include the railroads, shocker,
Okay,
the
sure.
utilities, the taxes,
Yep.
and the chance and community chest
Well, okay, so they nerfed a lot. So, holy, what's even left, bro?
spaces, replaced by these brand new specialty spaces.
Hmm.
Spikes will hurt anyone that lands on them
Oh, so they're kind of dumbing it down in a way.
for 1 HP, while the cozy campfire will heal
Okay.
anyone that lands on them for
But
1
if I read through the instructions and never mentioned auctions. I wasn't sure of the game. I'd never heard of auctions.
HP. The Choppa and the motorboat spaces will allow you to advance to the next unclaimed location on the board and
Yeah, it's kind of simplistic, actually.
claim it.
Sure.
Although if you pass go, you don't get 2 health. These 2 spaces are exclusive to the collector's
Stay
edition,
to follow!
as
How you
the
doing?
standard
How you doing,
edition's
Dookie Doo?
board has a reduced amount of spaces similar to Cheater's Edition.
Got it.
And finally, this rendition's railroad replacement is the loot chest, which allows
Okay.
you to take one random piece of loot from the pile, which is really good, as I'll get into. The properties are all from Fortnite, so
Sure.
it does give the
It feels a lot faster. I feel like between the map closing, I'm thinking the goddamn follow as well. How you doing, Biggie? I feel like between the map closing down and like it definitely feels a lot faster. Do you know what I mean? I feel like we're speed running our way through a Monopoly game, which is good. Monopoly is forever.
impression that
Yes,
you
I
are
think it's
running
good.
around the map. But this is where the disconnect from actual Monopoly is the strongest.
Okay.
There is nothing that makes it feel like you actually own these properties.
No.
You can't build on them,
Nope.
you can't trade them, heck, you can't even buy them. It really just feels like you're watching over them like some kind of security.
Well, that part feels kind of boring because at what point is the game just about dice then, right? Because like if you're just, it feels kind of like you're just rolling dice a bunch and you're not really doing any kind of strategy. There's no real strategy here as of right now. Do you know what I mean? All support playing Fortnite though? Sure, not really. You'll see. Oh, I know. As of right now, I'm not impressed.
There was a massive missed opportunity for building on these two.
True.
You know, building, the one thing that these franchises have in common.
True.
So much risk.
2 hours to
reward
play
could
in my
have been
Uno
put
game's
in
like
here.
7
You
hours.
could have
Fair.
players build on their properties to increase the damage their properties deal to others by requiring them to skip a turn for every improvement they make.
Okay.
And they'll need to weigh the risk of that because they could be attacked while doing it, and the storm could take that property at any time.
okay.
As it works now, it's fine and functional, but if they gave the properties the same treatment that they gave the storm, we would have something really special on our hands.
I don't disagree with that. I think it feels very boring just to get a property, just to have. Just, okay, perfect, thank you. It seems very boring in terms of like this mechanic.
Hands here.
Build Fortnite's way better anyways.
Open
Sure.
that chest up, buddy. It's time for the...
Go!
When you land on one of the loot spaces,
Here
you
we
get
go.
the opportunity to draw a loot card.
Okay.
There is no limit to the amount of loot you can have on you, so you should
Perfect.
try to get as much as possible, as you could end up taking the loot that other players might need.
Okay.
The loot comes in 3 different rarities that
Right.
you can draw at random.
Okay, so here, again, I need to know where the strategy comes in, because right now it just feels like you're rolling dice to roll dice.
Gambling. So let's
I
check
love
out
gambling.
each one and see what you can hope to get from a chest.
Oh, true,
The rare
cowboy.
loot. Rare item. When you attack another player, they lose 2 health instead of 1.
Okay.
Rare item 2 lets you ignore line of sight. I'll get to that. and
Oh my
attack
god.
any player.
Oh no. Oh no. Oh, it's about to become Warhammer, isn't it? Ew.
Medkit. One-time use allows you to
Oh,
restore 5 health.
no.
Stink bomb. When you attack, all players in your line of sight lose 3 health.
Is Monopoly getting a shooting face now? Oh god.
Stinger. One-time use, choose any space on the board, and all players
They added
currently
PvP
there
to
lose
Monopoly.
4
No!
health. And the Bouncer. One-time use, move any player up to 4 spaces forward or backward. The Epic
It's-
Loot
okay.
has only one thing,
Oh.
the Epic Item. When you attack another player, they lose 3 health instead of 1.
Sure.
And the Legendary Loot. Legendary item. When you attack another player, they lose 4 health instead of 1.
I feel like they could have. Oh, there's more.
The Bush, which makes you immune to all boogie bombs.
Sure.
And the most legendary item of all, the Chug Jug.
Yeah!
One time use, the Chug Jug will heal your character all the way back to full health.
I feel like there should be more rare ones. There's only one rare one. Why should I buy this when I have the original Monopoly 30 years ago? I don't really know what we're about to get into the FPS of this.
This card just reminded me that there is no Tomato Town in the Collector's Edition, and now I am sad.
Fair.
The loot is nice and carries a ton of different effects that will change up how you choose to play the game.
I feel like there should be more loot. Again, as of right now, I'm sure there's more stuff to happen. As of right now, I feel like there should be more loot. You know what I mean? I feel like we're kind of hurting in the loot department. You know what I'm saying?
But they're certainly not perfect. Calling what are obviously weapons items is a real missed opportunity, especially since you could put in specific weapons from the game to
True.
reflect their effects.
True.
Like making rare item 2 a bolt-action sniper, since it
Well,
can
they wanted to be kid-friendly, which is ironic because it's a Fortnite. But whatever.
go after far
Sure.
away targets. In addition, using the weapons could allow you to make more cards with different effects, like a pump shotgun that does more damage but has less range,
True.
which could even further change up people's playstyles between games.
Sure.
All in all, some missed potential here, but definitely still a very
Thank you for
solid
how you doing,
lineup.
Luigi.
Alright, I dumped a bunch
All
of
right, that's fair. Again, I don't really see where the strategy comes in, save, I guess, hoarding items. But okay. Sure. I'm still being good. I'll bite.
terminology there that might not make a lot of sense right now.
Okay.
So let's go ahead and get into the most complicated part of the game to clear up the remaining clouds.
shooting?
It's time for
Health. Oh, movement. Building. Oh, God. This is going to be a nightmare. Everyone get your thinking caps on.
As with any standard Monopoly
God.
game, this one uses 2 dice, but movement and what you can do on your turn are very different in Monopoly.
Here we
Fortnite.
go.
Only 1 die is for movement.
Oh, it's Ogre, dude. It's officially way slower now. 1 dies for movement. This is going to be a slow-ass game.
As the other die is the action die, featuring symbols that give you permission to do certain actions on your turn. And here's where things get complicated.
Okay,
We're
I'm
gonna
ready.
go over what each face of the action die does.
Oh,
so
God.
strap in
Oh,
and
God.
lock on.
All right, I'm locked in.
Heal. When you roll
All
this,
right.
you can heal 2 health.
Great.
How health works is that every player starts off with 15 health points and
Okay.
can never go above that no matter how much they heal.
Sure.
Once a player drops to 0 health points by
die?
any means, they are out of the game.
Got it.
And 2 things happen. First, any loot that they had on them is dropped onto the spot that they died
That
at.
makes
And the
sense.
next player to either land on or pass that space collects all of that sweet, juicy loot
Got
for
it.
themselves.
Got it.
Second, any location cards that player had are immediately taken by the storms.
Oh, thanks for some. Thank you, real guy. Thank you. Can't believe it's already been 5 months. Thank you. No, just shut up. No.
So if you take out a real estate mogul, prepare for the board to get much, much smaller.
Okay.
Crosshairs. Finally, I get to shoot my friends. How
Yes.
combat works in this game is when you roll a crosshairs, you can attack one player in your line of sight.
Okay, what does
and
that
make
mean?
them lose
Specifically.
health.
Well,
The players
specifically.
in your line
Here
of
we go.
sight if they are on the same lane as you. So
Oh, okay.
imagine it as what your character would see if the middle of the board was walled off.
Got it.
This does mean that if you are on a corner space, you can see down 2 lanes. So
Oh.
keep that in mind. Another part of the dice
Okay.
that you should know is that you can choose which order you take each die in. So
What do you
for
mean?
instance, if you roll a 6 and a crosshairs, you can either move on to a new
Oh.
lane,
Ooh, there's the. I don't hate this actually.
then attack a player in your
Yeah.
new line of sight, or attack a player in your current line, then move to try to widen the gap on them.
Wait,
Along
I
with
actually don't hate that. That's not bad. Yeah.
Be sure to remember any effects that your loot has, since they might let you do
What the
more
hell did I come back
damage
to?
or hit multiple
Fortnite Monopoly.
targets. Choose which loot you decide to use wisely, though, as when you attack, you can only use one at a time.
What do you mean?
Combat is great and all, but what is Fortnite without some classic building?
You can only use one at a time? Like you can only use the one item? Okay.
My playstyle. Building
It's
in Fortnite
yeah, the
Monopoly-
thing is it's not even really Monopoly anymore, is it? It's its own thing. I don't even know if I want to call it Monopoly. You did first ever forgot. Yo, Coffee, how was it? Did you have fun?
works like this. When you roll a brick, you move first. Then you can place one of these walls down on any of the spaces you passed on that turn.
Okay.
Walls will remain on the board until either a player runs into them, in which case they stop moving even
Sure.
if they had spaces left.
So a lot
or
of,
if they are
cool suits.
attacked by
Yay!
crosshairs. This adds even more depth to the gameplay, as let's say you're in this situation and you roll a 4 into crosshairs.
Sure.
Do you move first to take out the wall and take damage so you can attack your opponent? Or do you attack the wall so you can move the full amount and get some loot?
Oh!
Monopoly Fortnite, the thinking man's game.
This is not Monopoly, but this is interesting. I've been this for ages. I've never seen this one, but this is like, I don't hate that mechanic, actually.
Finally, the last action you can take, the Boogie Bomb. The Boogie Bomb is relatively simple. Whenever
Okay.
someone rolls it, all other players take 1 damage and all walls on the board are destroyed.
Damn, that's really good.
I'm not a big fan of the Boogie Bomb. Because of it, walls don't tend to stay up for very long at all, making
Okay.
them much less useful than they seem. On top of that, dealing 1 damage to all players doesn't really feel like the Boogie Bomb.
No, it does not. It does not transfer over well. It seems a little strong. By the way, Animal Crossing Monopoly next is really neat. I don't have time, or I would.
Make it a lot more accurate as if
Yeah.
you could target one player and
I think they could just easily say this is a Fortnite game and not make it Monopoly. You know what I mean? Like, this is not how the Monopoly.
while they can still move, they are unable to use the action die on their next turn.
It's a
'Cause,
call for game
you
like,
know, they're boogieing. But other than the Boogie Bomb, the movement, combat, and building mechanics are all implemented really well and
Okay.
reflect how quickly the advantage can change in the game,
That
depending
was slowly
on
put
what
on the
goes
game towards
down.
the end. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense.
And while the attacking being locked behind luck can get annoying, I think they balanced it pretty well.
Okay.
It still has to resemble Monopoly after all.
yes.
Before-
They did not have to make this Monopoly, by the way. Again, I really think they could have made this its own game. But slapping Monopoly on it means you're forced to some of these rules. And it's kind of a bummer.
Before I give the final
Blizzard,
answer,
nerf it!
I want to highlight the game's components,
Sure.
as this is where the biggest difference between the standard and collector's editions come into play.
Go ahead, I'm ready.
The boxes the games come in vary wildly. The standard version comes in your basic board game box,
Boring.
and does a good job telling you what game you're getting into.
Yep.
That's right, Risk. Meanwhile, the collector's edition comes
True.
in a smaller square box that resembles one of those supply drops.
Sure.
And includes 2 smaller
So idea
boxes
what to
on the
expect. It's
inside
kind of
that
yeah, it's a little false advertising because to play if you're thinking fall by the jail, if you're a Monopoly enjoyer, this is like not a Monopoly. You're not playing Monopoly. So what's this game to be without saying Monopoly? I had no idea it said like Monopoly. Yeah, if it didn't have the Monopoly logo, I would be convinced it's its own game.
Hold the components. The pieces are completely different. The collector's pieces are much higher quality, being metal figures of several of the game's characters doing emotes, who I will now try to name off without looking. Jonesy, that one's easy. She looks like a Clara Panda, because of the hat. I think I saw a costume for this one in Walmart.
Sure.
Pink Commando? Spikes, because the spikes. I know that's wrong.
Wait, what spikes are you talking about, big dog?
But I'm giving myself a point here anyway, because I know that's Gangnam Style. He looks like an Akimbo or something goofy like that.
I mean, yeah.
Peely. Everyone knows Peely.
Sure.
This guy's wearing a tie, so I'm thinking Midas. And
Okay.
Meowskulls, you know,
Yeah!
the Peter Griffin thing.
Meowskulls!
These are all really high quality and way better
Those
than
look
the
nice.
pictures that you just put on the stand,
Oh, cringe. The other ones just have the picture on the stand? That's cringe,
like
actually.
in the standard version.
Ew!
But where the standard version wins here is in variety, as it contains portraits of 27 different skins for you to choose from.
Okay.
It has even more new ones in the second edition.
Damn, okay, that's kind of fun, I guess, its own way.
So a classic quality or quantity conundrum. Up to you which you prefer.
Quality.
The
I
action
like the
die
metal.
is a little different between the two. In the collector's edition, the die has the icons built into it, while the standard version has you put stickers on it.
Nah, cringe. I think the collectors is where it's at. Way better.
Which gives you a bit of creative leeway. The health tokens are very different. In the collector's edition, they are these little plastic discs.
Okay.
Good quality, easy to grab onto, fine stuff here. In the standard version, they are these little chips that are
Hate it. The punch-out ones? Nope.
tougher to grab a hold
Nope,
of.
they're
And
punch-outs?
You will need to punch out all 110 of them.
Nah, I'm buying the collectors. Get out of here with that. Get out of here!
And from the cardboard before you
Nope.
can start the game.
Nope.
This will either be really fun or really annoying. There is no middle ground here.
Annoying.
But of course, I can't bring up the collector's edition without mentioning your grand prize.
Oh.
As by getting this version, you
In-game back bling set?
also can claim some unique in-game back bling
Ooh, okay. What we get?
for your character. I could just look it up and show it to you, but
Sure.
since I have access to it, I might as well claim it for myself and
Sure.
show it off. So let's re-download the game real quick and see what we got.
Oof, yeah, hey, bud, you're gonna be, oh, yeah, about
Oh,
that.
shoot.
Okay, so here they are. Oh, that's kind of cute. Yeah, you get the T-Rex, you get a cat, you get a ducky, you get the doggy, you get the penguin, race car, top hat, and battleship. That's kind of cute. Yeah, sure. That's very quaint.
So now that we've covered
Very
every
quaint.
bit of the game, it is time to make the final decision.
What's that?
Is Fortnite Monopoly good?
Chat, where are you guys at with this? Where are you guys at with this? I could play this, I think, maybe twice. I think the only issues I'm having with it is I wish there was more variety with the items. And I don't think I'd give it a try, but it does not feel like Monopoly. Yeah, as a Monopoly game, no. As a game on its own, sure. I would give it a shot.
Your answer to mankind's most pressing question of the decade is...
Probably
Yes!
Oh!
Now, is this a good version of Monopoly?
No.
No.
Okay, so he said what we are all thinking. Right. This is not Monopoly. Let's be real. This is not Monopoly, chat.
There's no railroads, utilities,
Nope.
taxes, money, chance cards, community chess cards, building
It's
houses,
not Monopoly.
trading, or even just buying property.
You could have just made a Fortnite game. Monopoly's the worst board game ever. It's not great, but I think it has its charm.
Remove the
Put my throw,
copyrighted
give you a
artwork,
try it?
and
No,
this
God.
game has literally nothing to do with Monopoly at all.
The only thing it kept is go around past go.
That's why
Well,
I've
it doesn't
been
work,
mostly
never played
calling
it
it Fortnite Monopoly, because it is clear whose name should be first on the paper.
Yes.
here. But regardless, it is a surprisingly competent title, featuring
Okay.
a ton of depth to its mechanics, gameplay that forces you to think on your toes,
Yep.
and a relatively short playtime that ensures that
10 to 35 minutes. That is, for a board game, That is actually crazy.
You'll be able to get multiple games in during a session. The randomness that's brought
That's
in by the
actually
dice,
crazy.
the loot, and especially the storm ensures that no two games are the same either.
True.
So who knows what it'll take to win each new game that you get into. Me,
It's 45 on Amazon, friends.
that's
Ooh.
who. And I'm gonna give you the
Play as
premium
Shia next time you guys hang out
strategies
with
that
them?
you'll
True.
need in order to bring
I
home
might
the
actually.
bacon and secure the
I actually
bag in Fortnite Monopoly. One mechanic that I've yet to mention is that unlike other Monopolies, players do not all start the game on go.
Oh!
Instead, one at a time, players will drop out of the battle bus and
What?
choose which space they'd like to start the game on.
Ooh. Okay.
So let's look over the board and see which space is the best to go for.
Okay.
I'd say that if you're looking to give yourself the best
Where we
chance at a good
dropping?
start, you should be dropping in the Weeping Woods.
Why?
This gives you 4 spots on the die to stay in range of some loot.
Oh, wise.
And if you miss it, you could hit the Choppa, which will likely get you one of the blue properties.
Okay.
If someone manages to damage you early, you can just pass go to get that health back, and you will be immediately in range of a campfire, motorboat, and more loot.
Dude, the metagaming is real.
On the opposite end, I'd avoid landing in any color that's right after loot, since you'll be out of range of getting some on your first turn.
Got it.
Especially the yellows, since you could also end up in jail.
What does
As
jail
for the
do?
Loot, what items should you be shooting?
Like, jail's still the same thing, right? I heard that it's full game. Basically, look at my stack of board games at the corner that take just as long to set up. I think if I was in range of folks, if I wasn't like a million yards from god dang Shia and Basil and Sozin, we'd be doing board night like on the weekly, guys. Oh, it'd be crazy. Monopoly does not need a meta. I know where we dropping.
For. Rare
Diving
item
ball.
2 is a great backup
Target
item to
Monopoly,
have,
hell
since
yeah.
if you roll crosshairs while no one is in your line of sight, you won't end up wasting that roll. The stink bomb can be a very powerful item, especially if you're on a corner, since it will hit everyone in your line of sight.
go raise the
If you
fair,
do
copy
have
fair.
it, try to get sent to jail, as that will guarantee that you can use it at max power if you roll crosshairs. The Chug Jug is a must grab, as when
Yes.
everyone is bleeding health in the late game, getting back to full health could be the boost you need to outlast the competition. The Clinger could end up being the most valuable item to have if you
Any space, all players in the space pay to forward.
hold on to it, as when the game is getting down to the wire, being able
can
to
just
deal
kill somebody.
4 damage to any player
Oh, you don't need to roll crosshairs. Dude, I get the meta now, and I'm actually like, this game is, I'm kind of into it.
on the board could be the finisher you need to
I
close
like
out the
this,
game.
man. Make-
Finally, if you want to play this gym, it's likely going to be a little tough to convince your friends to play something called Fortnite Monopoly.
Just say we'll play a Fortnite game. Just don't call it Monopoly. Like, on God, I can't stress enough, the biggest L about this game, I play this. The biggest L is they called it Monopoly. I'm so serious. Because when you hear Monopoly, you think, oh, there goes 4 hours of my life, right? It's just called the Fortnite game or something. You can't call it Monopoly.
So how do you trick people into playing? Instead of saying, hey, let's play Fortnite Monopoly. It's really good. Trust me.
Why do you
please."
play board games on Tabletop? I do with friends every few weeks. We're playing one next week, I believe.
Please, try hey, look at this thing that I found. Want to try it out and see how bad it is? And if they play it and like it, they'll be pleasantly surprised.
Okay.
Congratulations. You did it. I think pleasantly
did it.
surprised was the reaction from everyone who tried this game. As
Yeah.
I doubt anyone looked at this and went, yep, that's going to be a really good board game.
I didn't even know. Hi, Radio! Shovel Radio, how are you, Radio? Hi. I did not know there was a difference between, like, the things. I had no idea. I did not know that. Anyways, hi, Radio, how are you?
Especially
Hi, Radio.
considering Hasbro's track record with the series. But it is just that, a really good board game. Everything
versions?
comes together
Yes.
to make a really compelling experience that's
You're doing
different
good?
on every
Good,
play,
good.
making Fortnite Monopoly, of all things, one of the few actually good games that I have covered on this channel.
Damn!
Phenomenal. I
Damn!
would say today's lesson is, don't judge a book by its cover, but that's what the covers are for. So I
True.
think we've all learned a different valuable lesson from our dear friend here today. If you want to make a good Monopoly, make a game that is nothing like Monopoly.
That is the wisest words I have ever heard from this guy. That is so absolutely insanely true. The best Monopolies are the ones that are not even close to Monopolies. Such a powerful.
Signing off for a Lost Chicken
Beautiful.
Dinner, I am Cam
Beautiful.
Sandwich. Thank you for
Cam.
watching and have a fantastic day.
Cam, amazing as always. Give you a quick little like a Rooney. Simply a great video. Another board game review. I will never play Monopoly. I hate Monopoly. I think it's draining and soul-sucking and boring. I do like that idea of the Fortnite Monopoly. I will try out Fortnite Monopoly if given the chance to. I might even do it for game night. I don't know yet.